And the first person we're going to be looking at is Doriangray. So this here is Doriangray's place. We're over in Razorwind. It's a little bit like gloomy outside, the rain's going, but you know, it's all good. We're here to celebrate this guild. So as soon as we come in, let me zoom out a little bit. We can see that while they have like all the, while their positioning is good, they still have like some things that are like fenced off using these Suramar fence posts. Real quick pan around, we have this like, you know, pretty easy placement of different sorts of decor, including like some shop stones. You can see those that are like being traced all along the lot. Let's start left. And let's take a quick look at what we got. Now, first off, of course, being a PvP guild, you see PvP power-ups. That's like iconic. It's like if we don't see them around here, it almost looks sus, but we're fine. So going around, we have placement of fairly large objects. You know, just kind of like the placement to suggest, yo, I just want to like kind of fill out space a little bit. But they went ahead and they did a meticulous job of placing these paving stones to make sure that we're on the right path as we go through and check out some of the things that they've collected over the years, from little night wells to like some of the Diablo stuff that it's been available. Looks like they made their pre-order for the expansion and all that. Here's like some more of the shop items, and again, you know, these feel like little monuments of accomplishments that we're just kind of perusing through right here. Yeah, some fun shots. Fences, yeah, notice how the fence went all around, despite, again, having the having a good position. So if this was a place of battle, you know, they just wanted to be super, super protective of themselves. Lots of these stones, dude, these are a lot of stones. How many were used, man? That's a lot. All right, but let's go inside. Actually, let me see if there's anything up here. Anything of these? Oh, we do have an assortment of things, including some evidence of like some raid activity. Yeah, of different sorts. So they've been around. So this is like kind of like their raid celebration up here. Cool. But now let's head inside and see what they're all about. All right, so as soon as we enter, there's the boss celebrating themselves. Obviously, you know, making it festive. Looks like we have a number of guildmates who are here who are hanging out. So feel free to you know, hang around as we take a look at the place. So we come in. Again, we have a nice easy placement of greens. We're welcomed in. No need to take anything off. Just go ahead and come in fully clothed and everything, because they're fully armed for battle. This demon hunter and all that. Now, as we go into this first main room, you know, we're directed like towards the front, which seems to be like this kind of like, feels like an extended foyer of sorts. But then the real exploration is going to happen to our left and right. So we're going to go through the center first, and let's see if I'm right. Right? Like how all these colors are blending together, because we have some really bright lights that are being presented here in this initial room. You know, so we come in, we have like this nice little placement, you know, small kitchenettes kind of dealing. It's almost like, it's like, yo, normally we don't have this stuff out, but then we have guests over, so I'm going to pull out the grill from the closet, so they just haul this thing out and all that. It, you know, we can tell different stories of how the placement was done here. We can say that it was like, okay, this was just basically done. You know, they just kind of put it out there, but we can kind of tell the story. Yo, guests are over. Let me pull the good stuff out, because we know we're going to be doing like lots of grilling, lots of socializing out in this room. Very cool. Now, of course, having a barbecue grill, if you're going to be grilling like that, all that oil's gonna get into the curtains and drapes and stuff, and all that stuff is gonna eventually smell. So there's that to contend with as well. A lot of thought needs to go into how you set up your house. Just gotta throw that out there. So there are 18 rooms in the house. Okay. So let's see how the placement goes. And it looks like they turned down the lights. Things are gonna get a little bit more intimate. So it looks like we are going to be kind of like winding around. So I guess I was wrong about how the rooms were gonna go. This dude popped a noggin fogger. He's just partying. And as we move into this next room, we have this unfortunate hot tub that happens to be floating, but it's okay. These arcane toilet papers, they're the things that are making it float. So now we have like a little bit of flexibility there. But very dressed room that we have here, it's like a multiple hot tub room, is what I'm getting out of this. Know how bright things are popping here between the chandelier that's up here, between 1, 2, 3, between the 6 sconces, 2 Arakoa statues, additional candles on each of these tables. This is quite very celebratory, and he's very small now. Very celebratory. You know, it's like people are eating, and then the boss is back here. It's like, hey, y'all having a good time? And then they're like quietly eating, like, yo, he's half naked and just bathing like right in front of us while we're trying to eat. But that's fine. It's his house. We're just the guests. We don't want to be we got to be polite, right? So this does happen to be the dining room, nice and filled. Now, what's very important is that along with snacks and food and whatnot, right on top of the dining table, big old hookah. So all the little bits of all the nutrition is happening here. Very nice. And and all draconic chairs. So we have like this very heavy, both blood elf and draconic look that we're getting out of all of these here. Really fun mix of lights as well. Big old dark iron chandelier that's brightening up the room, and then everything else just kind of like follows it. I believe this is going to take me back to the main room. Yeah, through the shroud, and this takes me back into like the initial room, but we're going to backtrack. We're going to head back over into the hot tub room, the awkward hot tub room. And we'll see. We'll keep going. All right, so right through the shroud. Boom, boom. Ah, okay. Here's where the hazing happens, as I like to think of it. All the PvP stuff is happening here. Here's where the boss is going to chill, do their thing. And what are they doing here? They're doing like their own sort of like mock-up of like PvP fights. Not sure what the crystal's doing. Maybe that's being used as like some sort of obstruction when they're doing like their little duels and matches and stuff. That'd be kind of cool if it happened to be a line of sight thing. And then they can use that as like sort of a practice structure where they can use it, to like practice line of sight tactics and things like that. I'm almost expecting there to be, at least in one of these builds, not saying that there has to be, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is like some sort of PvP like arena of sorts. This I'd say is like one example of what they pull out, because they got like the cool power-ups and all that stuff here on the side. So pretty sure this portal takes me nowhere, given that it's in the corner. Oop, yep. So just a nice decorative thing to, just act as a contrast to the opposite corner there. Yeah, neat little spot. So here's where people are just talking smack while the duelers are over there, and they're just being like, oh, did you see this dude? He like popped his cooldowns like way early. It's like, nope, he's gonna get smoked. So lots of smack talk, I imagine, in this room. All right, from here we have 3 options again. This place is going to be sprawling, I have a feeling. Well, let's go through this shroud. Notice how we're not going through doors. We're not going through like normal doors, which really, for me, is a personal testament. I'm not fond of doors in housing right now, but that's just me. Let's get back to the build though. So here is the armory. Here's where they're grabbing all their like PvP weapons and things. Dude, if this was a guild hall, just imagine in the near future, hopefully near future, all of like your gladiator sets and stuff. That's gonna be a sick thing to have, as an individual or like as a guild. Like all these things that have been collected over the years, all these completed sets and whatnot, that would be super prestigious. That would be really, really cool. That's the kind of thing that would make people like super jealous. Like imagine like people busting out screenshots of like their place, and they have racks and racks of like this gladiator gear that you can't really get anymore. That'd be really cool. It's going to bring up conversations, of course, but I think as someone who doesn't really feel FOMO, like I think that's like mostly very, very cool. Very interesting. So we have the climb here, but this happens to, this armory room, this happens to be like just the armory. And then up here, it happens to be kind of like a hangout spot where we can talk about like just how awesome we are because look at all this gear that we have. But yeah, interesting that we have no lead up into like rooms or anything like that. It's just like, this is the room. It's just like this extended armory sort of spot. Love the celebrations. Classes, races are being represented here. And of course, we're working on like cool stuff. Again, it's going to be really cool when they come out with PvP. When we can like present transmog as if it was the core. That's going to be sick. Okay, so that's the horde thing. That's where we came from. Here's like a different one. I'm just gonna go through here. Let's see where this takes us. This takes us to a double shroud and into the outside. So while the fighting and smack talk is happening here, of course I gotta have some downtime. We're gonna be relaxing out here where it's nice and airy, feels very quiet. You just hear like let's pretend this is a magic shroud because the way that this is presented, this has a kind of, I'm gonna say this is like a portal kind of feel to it. So we're just kind of like a magic shroud teleports us outside. So no sounds of battle going on. That's all elsewhere. And down here we can just kind of relax. Outside here we got our paving stones, and so it feels like this is the place where this is a very very restful, very meditative spot. Folks are painting, they're writing stuff, they're taking a look at the stars, they're just chilling, sitting, vibing. There's a hookah out here, isn't there? Just a guess. Or they're sleeping, they're bathing. But no hookah around here. Okay, not in this spot, guys. It's like, no, we can't have no smokes, nothing like that out here. We're just like doing our own thing. But now, funny enough, there is some like blacksmithing stuff happening out here, because for whoever's a big fan of that, they're like, dude, this is very meditative. Kank, just that feeling of catharsis, man. And then like everyone is like, oh my god, we're going back to the other room. We're gonna fight this out. We need to talk, as in we need to like duel a whole bunch of times, really get it out of our system and all that. Yeah, this is the odd one out. If you're by yourself, it's like, okay, let me exert some energy out here. All right, fun room though. Fun room. And again, therapeutic. That's the whole point. Now, I'm pretty confident. Yeah, I came from there, so I'm pretty sure I'm going through here now. And then... Boop. All right, so this takes us to another stairwell room, which is more like this has more like a barracks kind of feel, right? So I have a number of folks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who sit here. So we have a different selection of beds and different styles. So we could be seeing different races. We could be seeing them just going through the stock, through their stock. Fair enough. But again, it could also be like this whole collection of like different races that we might be seeing here in these giant beds. But again, like a sort of barracks feel. That's the bigger takeaway, that you got 5 people who are staying in what could be like this sort of like extended bedroom of sorts. But then there are other places up here where people can like just kind of hang and do their thing. And again, and then here's one more bed. And again, no door that leads anywhere. So this happens to be another dead end. Interesting. Now the question is, okay, who stays in which bed? I'm gonna guess the boss is in the top, because that just kind of feels right. At the same time, they're up there, they're by themselves. Everyone else is down here. having fun, having a good time. Like they're like whispering and giggling about stuff. And then up here, the boss, whoever's up here, they're like seething. They're like, everyone down there is having so much fun. Whatever, man. I got the cool bed. Rubble, rubble, rubble. Yeah. So, but it might not be the case. It might just be like, hey, you know what? They're having a good time. Awesome. And that's what it's all about. All right. So I think, okay, we went through each of these doors. Okay, let me double check here. This one took me to, not the outside, but yeah, it took me to the armory. That was the barracks. Behind me was the skybox room. This is the awkward hot tub. And now we're going this way. I believe we went through every other direction so far. So let's see where this one takes us. Through the shroud one more time. Boop. And now we're led to more. This is where they all like, oh, this is a big wardrobe. This is a huge walkthrough closet. You want to set up your transmog, you want to look good. This is where you set yourself up. It's kind of funny because it has a warband kind of feel to it. It isn't just like one person's room. It's like everyone's room. So you have like different sorts of collections of cabinets that have been available. Again, we could be representing different races. We could be just going through the +1s of their stock. That works out. I'm gonna guess the former though. And then one more bed. Another bedroom. Now this one happens to be in a totally different wing. You know, it's not linked to like the whole barracks area. So, but then also unlike other places, we're finally seeing a bathroom. Here's the one tub. The one tub that we've seen. No, I'm sorry. No, there was the place with the hot tubs and everything. So no, maybe not. Maybe that's like the whole place where everyone's bathing right next to the dining room. Because you know why? Everyone's totally cool with each other. They're just like walking around naked. Like, oh, hey, what's up? You know, what's up, Jeff? Oh, what's up, Daryl? You know, how you doing? You know, we were doing twos earlier and blah, blah, blah. And they're just like, whatever, letting it all dangle out and all that stuff. And they're just chill, you know? So, hey, if that's the kind of guild they are, it's all good. And then, and then out here, and then look at that. And then he stripped down. Wow, that is quite responsive. So this is how they dress for secondary. So we saw earlier, there was a dining table kind of setup, but then we have another one. We have another place for feasting. Big fireplaces, 3 of them, in fact, because hey, why not? You know, let's just go through them. So we have our feasting. We got our drinks. Again, all the nutrition that we need. Meats, drinks, smokes. It's all good. No coffee around here, though. Interesting. I'm not going to judge. Not out loud. But fun dining room set. It's kind of like yo, we're gonna get like dressed. We're gonna get dressed like kind of nice, and then we'll get something together. But then this happens to be the only way through. So this happens to be a public spot as well. Interesting. So let's go through here now. This room will take us to another hall. Okay, so again, sprawling build in this other wing. So it's almost like this is this feels like the more private spot. So it's like the wing that we were looking at before, that was the more public area, that was for like the warband and whatnot, but then now things have privated itself up. So I feel like this is where the boss is enjoying their own thing. But they're also inviting all sorts of folks in over as well. We got our TV and all that stuff. Again, snacks, smokes, drinks, all the cool stuff. But it's all dressed quite nicely. I like what they did here. I like how they set up this sort of like TV cabinet. Like we have like, it's a huge structure, right? You know, and something like this, I would expect, do we need like a bigger TV? But no, this happens to be fine. Because right here, you open this up. If we could open it up, tons of liquor. You gotta have that. And then over here on this side, right here, you open it up. you have a whole bunch of VHS tapes. And you're seeing like, so VHS, I don't know what it stands for anymore. Even back in my day, I don't know what it stood for, but they're these big, they're like these big rectangular boxes, right? And then you shove them into like a bigger box that would be down here. They're called VCRs. And then inside those is video content. You know, it's pretty neat. And you need a big shelf like that to hold all of them because they're that big. And they take up so much freaking space. And so thank goodness for digital technology, man. Yeah, see, again, big cabinets for all these big tapes. This is how I'm looking at this. Complete with VHS quality. And then and then they needed to have like a separate like rewinder kind of thing for those who like to do that, because otherwise if you just use the VCR to do it, you'd wear it out faster. It would just be all bad. Great retro cabinet. I don't know if that's what you were trying to make it as, but that's what I decided. So let's go into this next room. So right back here is, okay, this is wild. We went through one ring and now we have like a full bar. These folks drink. This place is just full of Jakes. It's a very inside joke. But yeah. Okay, I love okay, this bar is awesome. I like this. Very fast. It has this very active, this very this very living bar. If I'm losing words here, like imagine everyone's here. They're feasting, they're smoking, they're having a good time, they're getting loud and rowdy. We finally found the coffee. Yes. So, yeah, fun bar stuff. It's self-serve, or like if someone wants to volunteer and and play bartender, awesome. We got folks playing music and doing all the good stuff. Yeah, great room setup that we have here. It's a great sort of like place for like, okay, we're gathering around and just celebrating life. You know, it's like, yo, grats to another year of Hydra Premades. Here's what we did. Eat up and all that. A lot of fun. So now we're going through doors, by the way. It's just pointing that out. We should. Oh, okay. Another kind of wardrobe sort of. No, to the bathroom. Very large bathroom, but we finally found like the other bathroom, complete with tub, wardrobe stuffs. Things to change with, and then we have. Dude, okay, that's just out there. That toilet is just exposed. But you know what? Fine, I'll go ahead and sit too. Nice, easy bolt chair to like set us up, and check out we have an example of some of the newer decor stuffs. Very subtle lighting here. This is where it's like, okay, out here, woo, getting smashed, let's go, and then over here, oh my god, hold it together, dude, hold it together. Oh my god, turn off the lights. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Let's go. And then they just like let it all out. Actually, preferably let it all out here. Wash themselves off, and then they're good to go. Or if they're just like, okay, I'm done. I'm just gonna get a sub. I need to sober up. I need to get this off my mind. Deep breaths. Oh no, they gotta run back to the toilet, and so kind of convenient setup that we have here. Have I seen everything? Have I seen all the rooms? I feel like we did a good a good combing through of what's good. Yeah, this bar was great. Huge pantry area and everything. Very nice. All right, so let's keep jogging back while we double check, because I think we have seen everything. Let's see. So back here, we're at dining room area, and then back here, probably wardrobe stuff. Yep, back to the wardrobe stuff. And then we kind of make our way back to the main room. If we go this way, actually, no, we're not done, because we got here to go to as well. Okay, so just double checking. Entrance, the way to wing 1, that door, the way to wing 2, and then we have an open door. Boop. So once again, so we've retreated back to near the entrance of the house. And here we have this kind of like somewhat festive, or somewhat, you know, kind of a fun gaming type of room. Notice how with the low lights, it's like I'm trying to play, it's super low light. He can see just fine, despite, you know, because he's a damn demon hunter. I'm like, yeah, I can't really see where my pieces are going. They're like, okay, that's your problem, not mine. I'm like, it's not fair, dude. Back here, nice little collection. And then what is through here? Banners and shrouds that take us through. So I'm going to take a guess here that at the top of the stairwell is not a door. just going to point that out. But through here, now we've reached the library sort of spot. All right, we're doing some work. So a quieter part of the house. It's kind of funny how these torches, they're like super bright. They have this very, very bursty sort of light, this very bursty sort of light, but the fall off, oh man, it falls off really hard once you leave that. So we're climbing through this library spot. Floating books, auto carousel kind of things, and you see, no door. And then we get to the top. And at least one more place to like snack. Because, you know, all that reading takes up a ton of energy, of course. Yeah, a very sprawling build, dude. Crazy.